everyone. Welcome to me. Um, no. Today oops. I'm not. I thought I was prepared. Okay. Today we're gonna take a look at QuirkyMolments, who's another Quirky Love Rosie or Quirky Love Rose channel that does they did, I don't know if they're she, sorry. Sorry, they do a bunch of girl world stuff, relatively new. Oh my god, they don't even have 1,000 subscribers, guys. Go subscribe to them. Like I can tell anyone to do anything. I have 8. One of them is QuirkyMolments, though. Thanks, love you. Appreciate that. um so what we're going to do today is look at the feeding the lore, the dark history of QuirkyLoveRosee. I heard that her name is the screen name is supposed to be QuirkyLoveRose. I'm calling her QuirkyLoveRosee or QLR Quirky or Rosie Lynn Reed. That's what you get. So anyway, guys, let's take a look. We're just going to do the one video today, and then Thursday I'll be back for probably a little bit longer. Um, I still have some stuff to do around my apartment as far as decluttering and getting things sent off to donation spots. So I just have organization stuff going on this week, and then hopefully next week I could do a little bit more, maybe add one more stream. But yes, so we're gonna get some more lore today, and let's get started. Trigger warning. Really dope that you put the helpline in there.
Rosalind Jean, Rosie
nice.
Jean, Brown-Eyed Rose, Quirky Rose.
Guys, I'm sorry, I forgot that her
Ruby Sunshine 91.
out like this.
She's gone by many names in her 15 years on the internet, but who is QuirkyLoveRosee, and why are we talking about her right now at this point in time in Girl World? Well, let's discover that together, shall we?
Let's go.
QuirkyLoveRose was born Rosalind Jean on November 24th, 1991 in Battle Creek, Michigan. Rosie was raised in a conservative Mormon family by her mother Tammy and father Eric, has an older sister who won't be named, and she has one younger brother named Levi. The family moved several times during Rosie's childhood, including a brief stint in California before they settled in Canton, Georgia for the majority of Rosie's childhood. In early childhood, Rosie's mother stated that Rosie was hyperverbal, outgoing, and definitely very stubborn.
Edit their video?
By Rosie's accounts, she was a strong-willed but obedient child. She believed in the teachings of the Mormon Church. Her family were not as devout as some fundamentalist Mormons, but still attended services regularly, youth group on Wednesday nights, and other church events.
So, I guess I'll start with childhood.
I was born into a Mormon
family.
Fifi.
I was raised Mormon. I left the church when I was 18. We can get to that in a minute. Around that, I was very isolated as a child. I didn't do much outside of church.
Oh my god, look at Mima. Yes, Mima. I mean, she got them Dahmer glasses, but yes. What happened? I'm just so curious. I'm sorry, but what happened? And I don't just blame Mormonism. Rosie's got something going on, okay? I don't know what it is. It's a little histrionic, if you ask me. Anyway.
School. I didn't go pretty much anywhere. I mean, at one point, my parents had 7 jobs between them.
Lord.
Yeah, 7. It was, that was later on in my childhood, thankfully. And so pretty much my entire childhood was literally and metaphorically shoveling.
It was actually kind of cute as
everything
a kid.
That I could.
I don't know what happened.
I was a Mormon. I wasn't out doing drugs, so I was eating, right?
Oh,
and by the time I was 9, I had really extreme depression, but that was back when kids couldn't be depressed.
Right.
So look at little Levi. Or Rosie. So as an adult in their 30s, a millennial, if you will, in fact. I was a kid in the 90s with just so much anxiety, and I didn't know that's what it was, and back then it wasn't like a kid just wasn't looked at as somebody that needed that sort of medication or like care, you know what I mean? Like medical care. So it's like I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD until, oh my God, it's been 1 week since you looked at me. No, 4 years ago, 2022. Early 2022, I started therapy. I got my ADHD diagnosis. I got on medication. But like as I've gotten through that, sorry, I keep having to clear my throat. As I've gotten through that and learning about ADHD and doing research and doing actual work on my brain to try to rewire it a little bit to see if there's stuff that I can just do and not need medication to keep me in line for. So for example, um leaving things places. Like I left my glasses in the bathroom last night. Guess what? They stayed in there all night. And it's fine in my ADHD brain because I was going to bed. It's fine. It's not fine. That's not where my glasses go. That's not where I leave them. I usually put them in a case and put them away. I don't I didn't do it because I was going to bed and I knew my partner wouldn't bother my glasses on the sink and that they'd be there when I got up. But a year ago, just even a year ago, if I would have sat my glasses down, I wouldn't have been able to find them. I wouldn't have been able to wouldn't have been able to find them. Do you understand? Like still, I've gotten a lot better about um not forgetting where I put things, but there's still some stuff I'm working on. Like I'm not perfect. I have my days. I am raw dogging this shit right now, and it sucks. The world sucks. Okay, anyway, let's get back to this.
Rosie felt
I'm off my
emotionally
soapbox.
neglected by her parents. Levi was diagnosed with autism,
Get it,
and her parents'
'cause
focus shifted to Levi as he had
I didn't have
additional
any
needs.
of those diagnoses when I
However,
was
his
a child.
diagnosis
There
was
was
not
no
what
way my
triggered
parents were
Rosie's
gonna look for that.
depression or her eating disorder. Unfortunately, something else happened to Rosie.
This picture looks like Levi's holding his food and getting a picture taken, and then Rosie's like, "Give me that." And he just probably doesn't even know.
That she later cites as the
Constantly
catalyst
stealing his
for
food.
nearly all of her issues in life.
Essentially, I was molested when I was 6 years old. And that's kind of the foundation of what ended up turning into my CPTSD. So he
I
lived
don't
with us
have
for 6 months.
any comments on
and
that. That's
ultimately,
not an
he ended up
experience
getting
I've
kicked
lived,
out
and I'm
when
not going to judge her for that.
my mom walked in on him on top of me, I guess. Not fun, nor fresh.
The
But
abuse
she
had
says shit like that, like not fun or fresh, while you're telling a story about how you were, you know, and it's like that could be coping. Sure, I cope with dark humor, but I don't know. I don't I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I've not lived that experience, and I feel for people who have because it's not fair. And it's just when she says things like that, I don't know if she's being truthful, if she's telling on herself, if she's nervous, or if she's just coping with dark humor to compartmentalize what happened to her. Either way, sucks, and that shouldn't happen to anybody.
but the trauma remained. Around age 7, Rosie turned to food for comfort.
She looks
She
better with long
continued to
hair,
gain weight throughout
but
her childhood
I understand being
and was
in
the
Florida.
victim of bullying due to her
I wouldn't want to
size.
live in Florida.
She didn't have close friends, but everyone at school knew who she was. To her peers, she was simply the fat girl. In reality, she was using food to cope with the unaddressed trauma of her childhood abuse. Because she grew up in a traditional Mormon household where conversations around sexuality were taboo, she chose not to tell her parents what happened.
Being Mormon and feeling like that because of what my cousin had done to me, that I was somehow less pure, that I was no longer innocent, that I was of the devil, that there was evil in me. Like these narratives that I formed in my head because I was too scared to talk about what had happened.
And some of that's
By
the
age
brainwashing
13,
from the religion, too.
Rosie spent hours alone in her bedroom, struggling
she's
to
got
process
fingerless
the memories
gloves.
and believing she was somehow to blame. By the late 2000s, pressures forced her parents to work multiple jobs to support the family. She was often left unsupervised with her siblings, and she had unrestricted access to the kitchen, where she routinely binged on chips and cereal. Her weight rose steadily throughout high school, reaching over 200 kilograms by her final year. The ongoing bullying at school compounded her low self-esteem. Classmates targeted her with mean drawings in the hallways, and on one occasion, a student pulled her pants down in public while others laughed. In her early teenage years, Rosie came to realize that she was bisexual. She struggled with her hidden sexuality, and at one point, her dad caught her looking at inappropriate material online.
And he handed me a business card.
To be fair,
with no conversation, and I hadn't said anything. Old, so I hadn't come out in any way. I didn't. They were bound until I was 27. By the way,
get wear and tear. Wear and tear.
Fully. But he hands it to me, and it was a conversion therapy card for a conversion therapist.
Yikes.
Rosie's weight, her hidden sexuality, and her secretly questioning.
You know what, though? I don't like that her parents still choose to eat Chick-fil-A. Now, what do I mean when I say that? It's the recent trip that Mima, or Mama Jean, whatever, came back from Norway without Peepaw. Peepaw's not coming. He said that he's staying in Norway for the year. He's not going to make it back this year. I don't blame him. I'd probably waited out a couple more years at least. However, her mom says that when she goes to the airport to go back to Norway, she gets Chick-fil-A at the airport restaurant and takes it back with her for Peepaw. You do understand that Chick-fil-A is directly giving money to conversion therapy, right? It's a thing that if I was at my sister's and she tried to feed me Chick-fil-A, I would kindly decline it and tell her why. Because it's just a respect thing. You know what I mean? Like, you have someone that's bisexual that is related to you directly who has been given conversion therapy advice in the past, and you're supporting a chain restaurant that is not only evangelical in nature, but directly donates money to conversion therapy, and what is he, the CEO or whatever, is giving, or he's in support of marriage equality being overturned. So it just kind of bugs me when people are on their high horse, or people are like, "Oh, feel bad for me. I'm a troubled LGBTQIA. However, I'm gonna go and sleep with the enemy." It's just kind of like, I don't know. I haven't eaten Chick-fil-A since I found out years ago. Like, I want to say 2020 was the last time I had Chick-fil-A. And really, it was only because the waffle fries were bomb. And I was getting like free waffle fries through the app, but I didn't know all that information. And I'm bisexual, and I stopped eating it immediately. And guess what? I don't miss it. I don't care. I feel like anyone who supports the LGBTQIA plus should not give money to Chick-fil-A, period. Rosie's parents included.
The teachings of the Mormon Church on gay marriage all contributed to her feelings of isolation. Craving connection, Rosie turned to the internet for comfort, specifically Yahoo Messenger.
One time I logged in and I said my ASL, because again, like 2010, and like,
I was on.
I got 80 DMs in the span of, I'm not kidding, like 2 seconds, and it crashed my computer. And I was like, AOL. What is this?
BBW stands for Big Beautiful Woman. Rosie suddenly found a community that celebrated her body type.
Nothing but
she began receiving a great deal of attention for the first time, which provided a sense of validation she had never really had before. Not only did they accept her body type, they celebrated it. And for Rosie, that attention was addictive.
Well, I ended up talking to a guy who was way too old to be talking to me. He
Yeah,
was 10 years
same.
older than me.
There's a
And
chat
he was
room, though.
visiting in town. I lied to my parents. I
Oh,
came up
I
with an
didn't do any
alibi
of
with one
that.
of my friends that my mom hated because she's the kind of friend who would make an alibi for me. And I did something really reckless and dangerous, and I met this person up somewhere, and we met up. Events transpired. I went to
Yeah, I
church the
didn't do
following
anything
week,
like that.
the following Sunday, and I remember I probably arrived late. I sat in the back, so not in like the main. I'm sitting there, I'm just getting antsier, and I just keep having this really loud, big thought in my head that I cannot shake, and it's just, I don't belong here anymore.
Rosie got up, walked out, and officially moved away from organized religion.
Purple's not
Eventually,
a terrible
Rosie's
color
family also
on
moved
her.
away from Mormonism, although her mother still holds to some of their beliefs if her most recent live streams are to be believed.
Yes.
Her online interactions continued.
Food hoarding
Rosie began
is choice.
posting nude photos in forums dedicated to BBW, aka Big Beautiful Women. However, during this time, her weight continued to climb.
Hello, my name is Rosie.
Oh, goodness.
I'm 20 years old, I'm 5'6", and I weigh about 440. I live in Canton, Georgia, and I just recently moved out 2 months ago, and this is kind of my living space. And, you know, I'm just still kind of moving in, and we moved in about 2 months ago, so it's kind of barren. And this is the kitchen and the new house that I just moved into. We had, before the other people who lived in here moved out, we had a different table set, and the chairs were much more sturdy, but these are more antique. And so I'm terrified to sit in them. I tried once, but see this kind of lightweight, old, rickety chair. I'm even scared to even try doing the video because I don't want to break it. It's not mine.
In 2012, Rosie auditioned for the TV show The Biggest Loser.
Really?
Ultimately,
forgot
she
about
was not
that.
selected for the TV show. She recorded this video as her audition tape, and it showcases the realities of living in a 440-pound body. The fear of breaking furniture, the fear of a heart attack, the fear that you might fall and not be able to get up, the fear of being perceived.
Because that's how I'm perceived. I'm perceived as incredibly lazy, fat, stupid. That's just how I'm perceived, and I want to change that. I'm sick of it. Because I'm not. I'm not lazy, and I'm not stupid. I'm anything but stupid. I was diagnosed bipolar at the age of 16, and I started feeling symptomatic at 15. Dealing with being bipolar has been a very difficult thing to deal with.
Did I know she was
Because
bipolar?
you're so all over the board. You're much more likely to have an addictive personality, which I have one, obviously. And it would make me want to eat more. You're more likely to, do drugs or become an addict of some
What are
sort.
you holding for?
Hence, I'm a food addict.
I'm
So,
a dingo hopper.
up until this
Oh.
point, I haven't
Let's pause. If anyone listening or watching needs any sort of resources for any of the things listed on here, there you go.
given any criticism about QuirkyLoveRosee.
Thank you, QuirkyMolments.
The reason for that
including
being is that up until this point in the documentary, she was a minor. But at this point, 2012, she is around 21 years old. I am honestly struggling making this first part of the documentary because I relate personally to Rosie regarding the trauma that she went through as a child, and that's hard. However, I'm living proof that you can go through hard and bad things and not become a hard or a bad person.
Yeah, exactly.
You can choose
Exactly.
kindness, choose gentleness.
Mm-hmm.
However, QuirkyLoveRosee would also say the same thing about herself that I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm going to demonstrate to you that she has not, in fact, chosen kindness or gentleness
She hasn't.
in
She's
hardly
very
any
nasty
aspect of her life.
vitriolic
And especially in more recent years where we have more proof of this.
Mm-hmm.
Roz blames a lot of her issues on her childhood assault. This is just a reminder that we can have sympathy for the child that went through that trauma
Absolutely.
while still holding the adult accountable for their bad actions. That's the goal of this documentary, to hold her accountable for her actions.
She needs to be.
You should note that the tone of the documentary is going to shift dramatically from here on out. We're going to be talking about greeterism, We're going to be talking about some Mexi work, and lots of other things that I need to use code words for. And that's just the reality of QuirkyLoveRosee's QuirkyLoveRosee's online presence during this time.
Slip.
So I also need to make a disclaimer that I have zero experience with that life.
Yeah.
I was also pretty sheltered as a child, but
Me too.
I never went through a wild phase like Rosie.
I did,
So,
but not
if I mess
until
up, if I say
I was of
anything out
age
of
and
place,
like
you're welcome to call me on it,
had
but no,
my
it comes from a
vehicle
place of
and I could do
innocence
my own
and not
shit.
from a place of malice. So everything I'm going to show
didn't
you
do
in this
anything like
documentary
that
is something
in my
that I've
teens.
found a paper
Not
trail
really.
for. Either a video that Roz herself put
I
up,
talk to people online, but I
or
didn't meet
posts
up
that
with
she
them.
deleted that I'll find either on the Australian transplant farms, or locale forums, or through YouTube videos that have been
Australian transplant
archived by
forums,
people
that's
like
so
Nika
funny.
T, Scrange, Scarletter.
Yeah, these are all the people that I watch. Yay! There you go, guys. Follow all of them.
Libby,
All of them.
Aren't You Exhausted, Tiny Blue Anthropologist, like all these amazing creators who have archived a lot of stuff that
I feel so
Rosie has
welcome in
since
this little
deleted.
community. Like I
Rosie
love hanging out in
regularly
Nikki and
deletes
Scar's
anything
and
that doesn't serve her anymore from her
AYE.
social media and
I
her
love their
YouTube.
chats and Tiny.
This means that holding her accountable
Libby's
for
fun
the
too.
crap
Libby
she
has
says
the
and does, it's a little bit
longest
harder
streak.
unless you're literally
They're
archiving
good
all of her
background noise.
posts. And thankfully, most of the more problematic things have been archived, but not everything. So while I do prefer to only show
That's a
you
nice
things that I
dress.
have,
Might be
hard
the fact
evidence
that
to
it's in
back
black
up,
and white.
at some point I might share a couple of things that the community has kept alive by word
This
of mouth
dress,
alone.
not this dress. That's
However, I have more
something.
than enough material with what I've found alone. I mean, but there's more than enough. So, strap in, buckle up, gird your little pork loins. It's going to be a long one, folks. Let's get into the brain rot, shall we? In 2013, Rosie would join a live cam site
My
where she would
goodness.
perform for an audience for money. She found this website via Reddit. Reddit is also where she met her boyfriend Chris.
Oh.
And you met him online too.
I met them at this on Reddit.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, my ex,
Now I know I said I listened to this video the other night, but I was also playing Baldur's Gate, so I was only paying attention very minimally. Okay, I forgot about some of this.
ironically was like my biggest chipper on, but I didn't know that until a little
And
while.
do you post pictures?
It's a live site basically,
So, like,
and
okay.
I fell so madly in love with him, and the majority of our relationship was like monogamous and like pretty standard, and then near the end things really changed because my stalker,
You heard that right. At the same time that Rosie had met her boyfriend Chris on Reddit, she also met a man who would soon become her stalker. One day during a live webcam, he doxed her live. Terrified, she shut off the camera, but he would later blackmail her into performing live for him. She would characterize this later as assault, but through the internet.
Oh, wait. Okay, so Rosie called it digital R word, which is not what that means. Not what that means. That's your fingers. Okay? All right, lesson over.
Rosie did not tell Chris anything about the stalker.
my stalker's a monster. He's a self-proclaimed narcissistic sociopath.
Did the Skype thing, did that only happen once, or was that a reoccurring thing?
That only happened once.
Okay.
And I think it's because he got so entrenched in my life he didn't need to. So what happened was we connected as friends, and I was like, would I date someone like him? I realized very quickly I wasn't that interested, so I kind of run-zoned him. He played it cool, but basically what ended up happening was we would like video chat and stuff, and there's a program called TeamViewer that like my dad uses a lot to like do IT work and like help fix computers and stuff. And so I gave him like temporary access with TeamViewer to show me stuff on his computer. So it basically it's like a viewing window. And this was when, like, I was like, I'd just been getting to know him for a little bit, and he showed me that, like, his use of the dark web.
Rosie's stalker went on to threaten her with other things that he could do to her through the internet or even in person. If you'd like to watch the full interview with Rosie where she goes into more detail about her stalker, you can do so at the We're All Insane podcast on YouTube. The episode is called Groomed into Greeterism. I'll have it linked in the description down below.
I realized how deep in shit I was. It took a couple, like a year, maybe 2, to realize truly just how deep I was. I also experienced like Stockholm with this guy. Like, I remember like telling him things like I love you and things like that. He actually, not only do I think he groomed me into freedom, I think he groomed / brainwashed me into believing I'm polyamorous. Fun fact, I'm not. I thought I was for years.
Here, Rosie further describes what greeterism is.
And at its essence, at its most innocence, it's about like a sexual kink regarding feeding someone, generally for the purpose of them being fat or getting fat or gaining weight. There's a big umbrella when it comes to feeding. And the thing about this guy is I think he was into what's called death. And that's where I have a lot of problems. And death is what it sounds like.
That is when the partner feeds their partner to an unsubscribing manner. There we go.
Up until this point, Rosie had gone by the name Phoenix Rose on Instagram. In November 2015, she began a new account called QuirkyLoveRosee. Everyone says QuirkyLoveRosee because she put 2 E's at the end. However, she only did this because QuirkyLoveRosee was taken on Instagram at the time, and it probably
well, I'm just gonna keep calling her
is.
Rosie then.
Chris and Rosie maintained a long-distance relationship. Their relationship started in September of 2013 when they met officially in person. However, they had been talking for about 4 months prior. Anytime they did have a visit, it was well documented on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. It's all there. Rosie began to build a larger social media platform. People followed her for her makeup looks, as pictured here. And this was prior to like the big boom of beauty YouTube. So, people followed her. They enjoyed her makeup looks. In addition to this, she was also still doing the live webcamming, and she was also privately selling photos via Google Drive to interested parties. Her makeup skills are definitely up for debate. The first look...
I don't know why that just tickled me. You're not wrong.
I showed was definitely my favorite. This one is not my favorite, and I will leave it at that.
Not good.
Rosie and Chris continued to date, and noticeably, her weight...
Oh.
was climbing. Rumors swirled that Chris was part of the Fifi community. During one of their visits, they went out for hibachi and shared this honestly really cute photo of them. I think this is a lovely photo of both of them.
That's not a bad picture.
This is also the first appearance of the famous tie-dye dress.
Oh, God.
As her social media following increased, so did the wackadoos that followed her. Rosie had all of her profiles public at this time.
That's not a bad picture either. Like, her hair looks better long.
Chris's information was publicly accessible,
long and blonde, get on a health
people
gurney.
began to harass him. Chris and Rosie's relationship became strained as a result. Her activities online were very stressful for him, and he had a child. Now, remember the child, because that will be important later in the story.
The kid. Oh, I'm just gonna let it play.
Additionally, Rosie was struggling with jealousy as women began adding Chris on Instagram, either because they were actually interested in him or because, they were wanting to troll Rosie. She states in one infamous post, "Outtake from last night. Also, to all these girls adding my boyfriend on Instagram now. When I have never talked to you a day in my life, you are rude. Only one person so far that has added him I would even consider an internet friend. If we do not have an internet friendship, why are you adding him? Shady shit right there. Hashtag sorry not sorry. Hashtag he probably isn't accepting any at all. Hashtag his decision. Prior to this, QuirkyLoveRosee was posting under Phoenix.
Oh, honey, no. Oh, honey, no. The skin color and hair color do not complement. The lips are bad. The eyeshadow is not, no. Eyeshadow's not bad. Eyeliner is bad.
Rose. She deleted that account, and then on November 23rd,
we do our makeup
2015,
better, right?
she posts under QuirkyLoveRosee. So I'm back on public, and that does mean that I am no longer in my relationship. I broke up with him in the past couple of days, and I made this account as a distraction through how much this sucks. As I get back into the groove of Instagram, I hope to get back into my BOPO posts and start doing real, actual work towards raising awareness with mental health stigmas. Another day I'll go more into that, but yeah, if you used to follow my old page and you want to shout me out so people who used to follow me can find me, I would greatly appreciate that. No pressure. It's going to take a while to get back into the swing of things, but I am back. And just when they thought they tore me down, I'm back tenfold. Hashtag Pizza Sisters for life. Self-love. Body positive. F your beauty standards. Plus size. Honor my curves. I forgot all my hashtags. Body love for all. Buddy love. Body positivity. Mental health. Break your stigma. Body revolution.
Oh my god.
Chris and Rosie had seemingly broken up. However, it wasn't long before they were back together. So, Rosie's family moved to Georgia. I believe she moved with them. But she posted on Instagram, "If you haven't been following me on Snapchat or Facebook, you may not know that a month ago tomorrow I took this photo the night I arrived to Omaha and moved in. This past month has been crazy, stressful, and blessed, amazing and beautiful. I got another job that I've been training for the past week and a half. My love for cooking has been re-inspired, which I share mainly on these snaps. Living with my boyfriend has been amazing, truly amazing, and on top of that, we made a very adult purchase of a brand new mattress. I love him with all of my heart, and I can't wait to see where this journey continues to go. 2.5 years we have had a hashtag long distance relationship, and we made it. We made it through all the hell, the ups and downs that distance brings. We made it through the hate, and our love, above all else, conquered it all. To everyone that believed in us, in me, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. All these lonely nights apart waiting for this time was worth it. Every second. To all my hashtag LDR folks, I believe in you and your relationship. It can work. It can come true. It just takes love, patience, kindness, strength, and communication. If they are the one, it's worth it. Hashtags relationship, love, long distance relationship, relationship goals, relationship advice, positivity, plus size, couple, long distance couple, excuse my hair.
The hashtags gotta go.
I was in a car for 12 hours.
I'm so glad that you stopped doing that.
Rosie's photo was posted on r/fatpeoplehate, a since deleted subreddit where people would.
She did a lot of pictures like this with them things just up in your face, and her makeup don't match. It could be the lighting. You look real pale. Is it? Oh, Rosie! Rosie, you should do this look today for Remy! Remily.
Hate on fat people, essentially. There was a big thing with Reddit where Reddit had to take down the subreddit, and yeah, this was a big deal for Rosie. She talks about it a lot. While living in Omaha, Rosie had a work...
Just like one of my classmates from high school in this picture. Like, my high school friend was way taller, but she looks a lot like her. That's weird.
She had also started a YouTube channel and vlogged regularly. You'll notice that there are no vlogs on her account that date back to 2017, 16, 15. Anything like that. Rosie deleted everything off her YouTube channel. And actually, she's done that several times over the years. As of May 2026, she only has content dating back 2 years ago to 2024, despite having been on YouTube for years at this point. Rosie was still doing her side business of selling adult content
The purple's
online.
not that bad.
Now, at the time, Rosie did post pretty publicly about her selling adult content. It's not a secret. However, she has scrubbed every trace she can from the internet.
Oh, girl, it's forever.
Rosie was an avid watcher of beauty YouTube.
Okay.
Throwback to when that was a thing, right? She was an avid watcher of Jeffree Star, James Charles, Kat Von D, all of the big names back then. She posted her makeup
Old
looks
Jimmy
regularly
Chuck.
on Instagram. Behind the scenes, Rosie's weight had continued to climb. She hit her maximum weight of 550 pounds.
Good Lord.
However, when she took this photo, she was at 538 pounds. Her weight gain only fueled the rumors that Chris was a Fifi. Now, just to be fair, I have added comparison photos. This is Rosie in 2013.
Oh my god, I was going to say
The
that's
next
so
photo
2000.
is Rosie at her highest weight in 2017. According to Rosie's The Biggest Loser audition video, she weighed around 440 pounds in 2012. The photo of Rosie in the blue dress was taken in 2013. And then the photo of her in the tie-dye dress was taken in 2017 at her highest weight of 550 pounds. So, over the course of their relationship from 2013 to 2017, she gained 110 pounds minimum.
Gosh.
So,
That's a whole
for the
person.
record, I don't personally believe that Chris is a feeder. However, Rosie was involved with the feeder for the entirety of their relationship. The man she calls her stalker.
I was. It took a couple, like a year, maybe 2 to realize truly just how deep I was. I also experienced like Stockholm with this guy. Like, I remember like telling him things like I love you and things like that. He actually, not only do I think he groomed me into feederism, I think he groomed / brainwashed me into believing I'm polyamorous. Fun fact, I'm not. I thought I was for years.
That girl on the podcast.
She talks about the
looks
stalker
like, oh
sending
God, what
her
have I done?
explicit material and
Damn,
slowly
Rosie!
beginning to GROOM her into Fifiism.
Can I take it back? Can I take back
Remember,
saying
at
red
this
your
point,
pillow?
Chris still
I mean,
knew nothing
it kind of
about
is,
the
but
stalker.
this ain't it.
To be clear,
I feel like I'm being attacked.
she had told other people about the stalker. She told multiple people, but she hadn't told her boyfriend. And she goes on in this next clip to characterize what happened between them as cheating. And it does beg the question, did her narrative change again? What bothers me here is that she continues to characterize it as cheating. But being raped is not cheating.
Yeah.
Just like if a small child experiences CSA,
Mhm.
they haven't lost their virginity, they were assaulted. It's
Exactly.
different. Losing your virginity implies consent. Having sex implies consent. Rape means no consent.
Yep.
Her mischaracterizing this as cheating bothers me on several levels. One of those being that if someone else hears her story and they themselves have experienced assault while being in a relationship, they may come away from hearing that thinking that I cheated on my partner when this bad thing happened
Exactly. And that's
to me.
not
And that's
okay.
simply not the truth.
Yeah.
I have family in
not your
Indiana,
fault.
and he knew that, and I was planning a trip.
Here's my stance on it. No is a complete sentence, whether you are fully clothed, half clothed, bare naked, in a bathing suit, in the shower, in the middle of foreplay. No means no. Period. Full stop. And if you push it beyond that, then you're a monster and you're a predator. And That's not okay. And that's it. That's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you have on. It doesn't matter what you look like. Nothing matters except you said no, and that person should stop. That's it.
To go see my family. And he basically made it clear that I didn't really have a choice about seeing him, and I just needed to make it happen. Because I know what he was capable of. And he made it clear. So I had to lie to my boyfriend, I had to lie to my family. It was the same weekend I actually met the founder of Pizza Sisters for Life randomly, and I remember talking to her about it and trying to be excited about what I was going to go do, even though I didn't want to go. I didn't want to cheat on my boyfriend. You know, I really didn't. And like at the time, I didn't understand the nuance of what the coercion was. And
coercion.
Also at the time,
like
this was around the time where Google Glasses were supposed to be the new big thing.
Oh my God.
So I think this was in 2014. And I believe that when we met up, he recorded me on his Google Glasses without my consent. I know he stealthed me. And he coerced me into an act of feudalism.
If you don't know what stealthing is, QuirkyMolments
without me knowing what it was. So to kind of back up, when I did arrive at the hotel, I remember I got to the door and I walked in and the room was empty, and I walk in and I stop at the bathroom and I realize the light's off, and I look in and the energy, the aura of that room was so fucking dark. And I look over and I see him literally just like lurking in the corner of the bathroom with the lights off, and I'm like, I fucked up. Like, so I went into like full fawn mode. I remember I was like, I'm just gonna people please my way through this. Like, you know, I don't know if I thought about it in that terms, but that's just kind of where my brain went. So I was just like, I don't know, I felt like I was just putting on a performance. And at one point he left to go get lunch, and when he came back, I grabbed my food to start to eat, and that's when he jumped me. And I said, what are you doing? Because I'm just trying to eat my food. And he goes, do you know what feudalism is? And I said, no. And that's when he continued to do what he was doing and explain what it was, to create that psychological tie. So I didn't know what to do. And so, you know, the act finished. And
so did you guys have sex?
I mean, yeah.
If you don't know, stealthing is the act of removing a condom during the sexual act, non-consensually.
That's insane.
It is considered as R-word in most states in the United States of America. It is horrible that he did anything non-consensually to her.
Absolutely.
Now, Rosie has put the story on the internet, and her accounts are confusing. I think there's a lot that she hasn't shared, but because she did make it confusing, I think it's okay that we have some questions, and hopefully she'll answer them one day. By 2019, the issues in Chris and Rosie's relationship had come to a head. Rosie posted on Instagram, "Hi, I made an Insta story talking about it, but I just wanted to share an update. Chris and I came to a mutual decision and decided to break up a couple of days ago. I will be moving back to Georgia in the coming months once I figure things out. If you care about how I'm feeling about it, feel free to watch my Insta story. I'm hanging in there." She posted that on February 17th, 2019. By April 10th, 2019, she had moved back to Georgia, stating, "First time in a very, very long time, I've done my makeup. I'm all moved into Georgia now, getting settled in and figuring my shit out. Single life has been an adjustment for sure, and I could not have done this without the amazing support of my friends and family." The move back to Georgia was not easy on Rosie. She posts on Instagram in June of 2019, "Trying to smile through the fear and the uncertainty as my life is hard. Oddly enough, not as hard as I thought it would be. Trying to find a job here in Georgia has been a lot more difficult than I anticipated. In short, I've fallen into the hardest times of my life. I considered setting up a GoFundMe because frankly, I need to, but I don't know if it's a mixture of pride and self-inflicted anger or what, but I just don't want to. I want to figure this out in my own path. By July 7th, I don't have a place to go at this point. I have a lot of faith that I have enough resources and friends in the Georgia area that I'll be okay. I'm thankful I have reliable transportation, but I'm terrified. I can barely afford to feed myself, and I'm looking into means to make side hustle money right now. I could use all of the love, tips, advice, and positive vibes I can get. Please do not feel obliged to, but I have my PayPal link in my Instagram bio if you want to help me keep my car and have gas to get to interviews, set up for Postmates, etc., and maybe be able to buy myself some groceries. I also have a Cash App I can provide upon request. I've had a couple friends from Facebook help me out, so I thought I'd explain my situation on Instagram. I'm sorry to share this with you all. I feel like a failure. My breakup and the timing of everything really put me in a bind, and I'm struggling. I have so many uncertainties, but oddly enough, I'm learning just how unimportant money is to your overall happiness. Obviously, I need money or I wouldn't be writing this post for my basic needs, but emotionally and spiritually, I'm happier now than I have been for a long time. I know in my spirit of two things. One, I'm exactly where I need to be, and two, everything happens for a reason. I'm doing everything in my power, following my intuition, and doing what I can to make some lemonade out of these damn lemons. Again, please don't feel obligated to send me anything. I'm just deciding to reach out for help from those who want to extend it. Kind words and advice help me just as much. Thank you all for your time reading this. I love you. No judgment from me on this area. Absolutely not.
I lived in Georgia during that time, and I'm not saying I don't know Canton. I'm not familiar with in the job market, but like the area that I lived in, then I was able to find jobs pretty easy. But yeah, I also am not physically as large as her, so it's like I could do these jobs. You know what I mean?
It's hard out there.
It is. It is.
Short on
I
cash,
don't doubt she
Rosie
has a
began
difficulty
filming
finding work.
specialized content.
Although, as you may have heard in my last video, I bitch very much about her losing that at-home working position at that call center, because I I would be doing that right now if I could get that job.
Specifically, greeterism content. She also made some new friends. She also made a big announcement. She came out as bisexual on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
She was 27 at the time, and she had kept her sexuality a secret for years.
Stay loud and proud about it, girl.
Rosie would be invited to BBW proms, which were fancy events for big, beautiful women and their admirers.
Even know Atlanta was doing that.
Rosie
but it
began
makes
fully
sense.
exploring her sexuality.
I was just very social 2019. I was like heavy in like the BBW scene in Atlanta at the time.
The BBW scene in Atlanta had a lot going on for it at the time.
I didn't even know.
Rosie be going to a lot of parties, as documented on her
life.
Instagram.
Not Atlanta.
She went to
Georgia.
the Stars Bash in Atlanta
I knew
at
there
one
was some
point.
freaky stuff in
But
Atlanta.
it wouldn't be long before her friends pulled her into another world. A secret world.
Well, so some of the parties were like regular parties,
Look at
but
their
some of them were swinger
faces.
parties.
My gosh, such a good video.
I was essentially medically kidnapped.
Oh, good lord. Oh my god. Okay, so that's episode 1 of QuirkyMolments Feeding the Lore, the dark history of QuirkyLoveRosee. Go sub to them. Sub to me too. I will link all of I'll link her information below, or their information below, sorry. I don't know what you prefer. And I will get this put up on my YouTube in just a bit. Make a thumbnail real quick. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I don't have a ton of time, but I'll be back either tomorrow or Thursday. I said Thursday on my community tab post on my YouTube. Loki Liz at Liz the Loki, and I do intend to do something else this week. Now, what that is, I don't know. We'll see. I think Rosie has a live or did a live. I'm not sure. I haven't really been keeping up. I've honestly been playing Baldur's Gate. But no, I'll be back. We'll do something. I saw Snowflake. Mr. Snowflake posted a video trying to learn the lore. So maybe we'll look at his. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out, and give me a follow on Twitch, a sub on YouTube, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!